Greetings, Libra and Libra rising. This is your Western forecast for January 2024. It's a major emphasis on the fourth house of home, family, real estate. But before I break that down, two important energy shifts, positive. Mercury, communication, decision-making Mercury had been retrograde the last couple of weeks of December, and on January the 1st, it's going direct in the sign of Sagittarius. And now when Mercury goes direct, it's at a standstill. So you know a little astrology. You hear that's the first 2 weeks is the shadow phase before it's at its full potential. But basically it means that on the 1st, Mercury's at a standstill and just beginning to move forwards. So since Mercury rules the mind and your thinking and conversations, when it's going really slow, even though it's moving in the right direction, your mind might be a little still cautious, a little sluggish, not as sharp, not as quick. But as the days move forward, your mind picks more up to speed. So that's some really good news that Mercury's going direct January the 1st, and it's in your third house, the third house of learning and writing and selling. Mercury is the natural ruler of the third house. So all this is really good for taking classes, for selling, maybe making travel plans. Jupiter, the planet of prosperity, higher education, optimism. Jupiter's been retrograde the last several months, and on December the 30th, Jupiter went direct in Taurus, remaining in Taurus until the end of May, once every 12 years. When Jupiter is now going forwards, releasing its blessings and luck and opportunities, the Jupiter being in Taurus, Taurus is 8 signs past Libra. The 8th house can represent financial gifts, inheritance, credit, financial gifts, joint ventures, and Jupiter is also associated with prosperity. And to have Jupiter every 12 years moving through the 8th house, that's really favorable for financial matters and financial growth, increases your credit. You could get a mortgage. You could come into an inheritance. That's all that prosperity of Jupiter with the 8th house. So things are starting to move forwards very nicely, and the emphasis is I'm going to start breaking it down on all the different ways that fourth house will be manifesting. But before I break all that down and get into more details, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. And if you go into the description box underneath the video, you'll find a link that takes you directly to my website where you can book an astrology reading or inquire about my 2-question offer. All right, the first 3 weeks of January, the sun is always in Capricorn. Where the sun is shining in your chart is where your attention and your priorities are more emphasized. Capricorn is 4 signs past Libra. The 4th is home, family, domestic matters, real estate. Pluto, transformational Pluto, is at the last degree of Capricorn. It briefly went into Aquarius last year, then retrograded back into Capricorn, and now it's at the last degree of Capricorn till January the 20th, the whole time the sun is in Capricorn. And then the Pluto goes into Aquarius till the end of August. I'll get more into that a little bit later. But Pluto is about this profound transformational energies. And it's aligning with the sun. So the sun is putting a major spotlight and emphasis on all these profound change, and also being the last degree brings in a lot of transitional energies, but it's all happening in your 4th house. Big changes with the family, with the living situation. Now, Mars is the aggressive warrior planet. It goes into Capricorn once every 2 years on January the 4th till February the 12th. Mars can be impatient, irritable, argumentative, fighting when Mars is weak because it can't control itself. But when Mars is in Capricorn, Capricorn contains it, channels it, disciplines it. It means that Capricorn is the exalted sign for Mars. So the Mars in Capricorn, once every 2 years, can be at its most productive, and that is moving through your 4th house. One of the things that will be important for many Libra rising, is the sun is putting your attention on your home or family. Let's stick with home. Pluto is about restoring, rebuilding, transforming, restructuring, endings, new beginnings. That could be moving, but that could be remodeling. But Mars is often associated with repairs, with fixing. And Mars also uses a lot of tools. It's very mechanical. And so having Mars great in Capricorn in the 4th house with Pluto, a lot of you could be deciding to maybe invest in a fixer-upper to flip it and hope to make some money, or your own home, doing a lot of major home repairs and remodeling. But the 4th house could also be about family, and there might be some major family events, some major changes going on in the family. Now, the new moon is on January the 11th in Capricorn in your 4th house. The new moon is where now you're really focused and crystallizing all your attention on 4th house matters. But the new moon holds that Capricorn energy to the next new moon, which will be in Aquarius on February the 9th. I'm bringing that up because the sun and Pluto on the 20th of January will leave Capricorn, leave the 4th house, move into Aquarius, into the 5th house. And so the 5th house, it will start to become a really important theme, but the dominant theme is going to continue to be family, real estate, domestic matters, the 4th house, because the new moon keeps it there till February the 9th, but ambitious Mars, aggressive Mars, is in Capricorn in your 4th until February the 12th. Now, let's go back to family, because can also be a major emphasis. And maybe it is family reunions, family holidays. Mercury is, when it went direct, January the 1st, it's there for just 13 days before it then moves into the 4th. So when the Mercury moves into the 4th, your mind, your decision-making, Mercury, is going to be back on family and home. But when it's in Sagittarius, the first 13 days, it's moving through the 3rd. Now the 3rd, with family, The third deals with siblings or relatives in general. It also can represent close neighbors. And so with Mercury, you might be having a lot of decisions, discussions, thinking about siblings and neighbors or relatives, with that big emphasis on the fourth house of family. Venus, the planet of love and harmony and pleasure, Venus is very sociable energy. Venus went into Sagittarius, joining Mercury. These two planets only go into Sag once a year. So Venus, pleasurable Venus, went into Sag December the 29th till January the 23rd. So Venus in the third can be this harmonious, pleasurable energies with siblings and relatives or your next door neighbor. Or maybe a new neighbor has moved in and you're finally getting to meet your neighbor. If there's been any kind of sibling rivalry, that Venus brings a healing, brings resolution, brings cooperation with Venus. And with Mercury and Venus together, the first 13 days, with the Mercury, that could be that you're reaching out, you're wanting to have discussions and talk about with the siblings, with the neighbors. But I think some of you, this could be very important for sibling relationships because there's a major emphasis on the fourth house. And with Pluto there, that Pluto can be about letting go of the past. Just let go of any kind of sibling rivalry. And the Mars, well, the Mars can be that warrior, but it's in its best sign. So it's wanting to resolve any kind of conflicts. Now, the fourth house, along with family, can deal with real estate. And Mercury and Venus in the third. The third is the sector of sales, meetings, communications. Could be very favorable for selling yourself or selling your products, the beginning. Especially Venus is there till the 23rd. And Venus is all that popularity. People are liking you when it comes to interviewing for a job or trying to sell yourself or products. But let's think of let's focus on Venus in the third as bringing all this benefic energy with selling, that third house of communications and meetings and selling. And then there's this major emphasis on real estate. Well, you could be busy going, a lot of meetings, looking to see if you can find property to buy. Or you could be, if you're a realtor, you could be really busy with the sales of real estate, especially as Jupiter, prosperous, benefic Jupiter, is in Taurus, now going direct the first 5 months of 2024. And the eighth house can be dealing with banking and finance and mortgages, and the Jupiter can bring in all this luck and protection. If you have any tax issues, any insurance issues, that's under the domain of the eighth house. And the Jupiter, for the most part, is bringing luck and protection. But if you were trying to buy property, you could get the loan, because that eighth house of banking and loans and credit, because of the lucky Jupiter. If you're in the business of selling property, or if you're trying to flip a property, that Jupiter in the eighth house can bring that financial prosperity. Now, the sun leaves Capricorn and goes into the fifth on January the 20th, and it will be in Aquarius for 4 weeks. So now a lot of your attention is also putting more in the spotlight fifth house matters. But that fourth house of family and real estate, again, is the dominant theme into the first part of February. But January the 20th, now the sun is bringing some of new interest with fifth house matters. But it's not going to be subtle, because obsessive, powerful, transformational Pluto will also on the 20th move into 0 degrees of Aquarius in that fifth house. And the sun will be there for 4 weeks. The Pluto will remain in Aquarius to the end of August, briefly retrograde into Capricorn, tying up loose ends. And then at the end of November, it's back into Aquarius for nearly 20 years. So this Sun-Pluto, it's a major emphasis. Now it's for everybody on the 20th, and then especially those 4 weeks, all the signs. There's a real emphasis on going really deep, letting go, transformation. That's the energy of Pluto. For Libra rising, the Sun-Pluto's in Aquarius. Aquarius is 5 signs past Libra. Aquarius is an air sign, Libra's an air sign, so it's all very compatible energies. So there's this life-changing energies with fifth house matters. The fifth house can mean children, giving birth, having a children, working with children. The fifth house is the house of romance, falling in love. It's that sector that could really inspire creativity or any sports-related business. But that fifth house can also be outside of all that romantic, creative energy. The fifth house can also be about investing, speculating. It's the house of gambling. And so there could be a life-changing emphasis on investments with property because of that big lineup in Capricorn in your 4th house. And if you had a baby, it would be life-changing. Now, this is part of the forecast where I like to look at how all these energies can impact your body, your relationships, your business. I've touched upon some of this already. With your body, having the Sun and Pluto moving into the 5th. The 5th is, your body would go through a lot of changes if you were getting pregnant. But for most people, the 5th is more about having fun, sports, recreational activities, and so this could be awakening much more vital energy, more robust energies. With relationships, already talked about the siblings, the next door neighbors, but that 5th house could be falling in love, but the 5th house could be conceiving a baby. And in business, all that real estate, and the 5th house of investing. Jupiter in the 8th house is coming into financial settlements or being very lucky with credit and mortgages. And the last thing I haven't mentioned is the new moon's on the 11th in Capricorn in the 4th, family and real estate. 2 weeks later is the full moon on the 25th. For a couple of days around the 25th, the full moon brings a lot of matters to light. It's a time of culmination. It's going to be in Leo in your 11th house. The 11th house are friendships, group activities, and so you might be networking, socializing, partying with friends. So I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or to sign up for my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.go. That's .co. Until next month, be safe and well.